Your boss isn't paying you to build a life. They are paying you to forget you don't have one. If you think a $10,000 raise is the finish line, you have already lost the game before it even started. Most people spend 40 years of their lives waiting for a paycheck that was never actually designed to make them wealthy. It was designed to do one thing: make you show up again on Monday morning. You could earn $100,000 a year and still have absolutely nothing saved by December. And the worst part is that most people blame themselves for this cycle. They think they are just bad with money or lack the discipline to save. They are wrong. They are simply playing a game that was built for them to lose. Look at every list of the wealthiest people on the planet. Not a single one of them got there by collecting a bigger paycheck than everyone else. They got there by owning things: equity in companies, real estate, intellectual property, and systems that produce income whether they are awake or asleep. Elon Musk isn't rich because Tesla pays him a great salary. He is rich because he owns a piece of everything Tesla will ever be worth. This is the distinction almost nobody makes early enough. Income is not wealth. Income is what you earn when you show up. Wealth is what earns for you when you don't. As long as your entire financial life depends on the next deposit from your employer, you aren't building anything. You are just maintaining a status quo. The real question isn't, how do I get a raise? The real question is, what do I own that is working for me right now? You need to own skills that people will pay a premium for. You need to own assets that go up in value while you sleep. You need to own systems that put money to work without you having to think about it every single day. Because until you own something, something else owns you. Your landlord owns your housing. The bank owns your car. The credit card company owns your future earnings. That is the cycle. And the only way out is to stop treating your salary like the finish line and start treating it like raw material. Quick reality check. If your landlord, the bank, and the credit card company all get paid before you do, who actually owns your life? The problem with most financial advice is that it tells you to be more disciplined. Stop buying lattes, say no to things you want, and just try harder. That sounds reasonable until you realize that human discipline is a finite resource. Every single day, you are making dozens of small financial decisions. Save or spend, invest or delay, cook or order out. That constant decision-making drains you, and eventually you slip. Not because you are weak, but because the system you are relying on requires perfection, and humans aren't perfect. Wealthy people figured this out a long time ago. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on structure. They build systems that make the right decision automatically, so they never have to wrestle with it in the moment. They set it up once, and the machine runs. This transition from willpower to structure is exactly what the 20-60-10-10 framework achieves. It takes your income, regardless of the amount, and assigns every single dollar a job before your brain has a chance to waste it on an impulse. Here is the breakdown of the architecture. 20% goes toward growth. This is your money for investments, education, and skill building. Anything that multiplies your earning power over time. 60% goes to your essentials: the rent, food, transportation, and insurance that are the non-negotiables of staying alive. 10% is dedicated to stability, acting as your financial airbag. And the final 10% is for pure enjoyment, guilt-free spending on whatever makes you happy with no justification needed. This framework functions whether you bring home $2,000 a month or $12,000 a month. The dollar amounts change, but the architecture remains identical. Most people do the opposite. They spend first, hope to save at the end of the month, and never invest at all. This system flips that sequence. You fund your future first, protect yourself second, handle your necessities third, and enjoy your life fourth. It isn't about restriction, it is about intention. Let's focus on that 20% for growth. because this is where the real separation happens. This is the money that determines whether you are forced to work until you are 70 or whether you have real choices by the time you are 50. The most important principle here is to move this money before you ever see it in your checking account. Automate a transfer the same day your paycheck arrives. If you wait until the end of the month to invest whatever is left over, there will be nothing left over. That isn't a guess. It is human nature. We naturally expand our spending to fill whatever space is available. The only defense is to remove the money from your reach before your brain can rationalize spending it. And here is the part that surprises most people. When you start matters far more than how much you invest. Someone who puts away $400 a month, starting at age 25 and stops completely at 35, will likely end up with more money at retirement than someone who starts 10 years later and invests that same amount every single month for 30 straight years. That is the power of compound growth. Starting small and starting now will always beat waiting to start big later. Think of this 20% as a ladder of risk. You start at the bottom, where it is safe, and you climb as your confidence and your financial base grow. At the bottom, you have high-yield savings accounts and government bonds. These aren't exciting, but they protect your capital while earning more than a standard account. This is where you learn the habit of putting money to work. The next rung up includes broad market index funds and ETFs. This is where the majority of your growth money should live. You aren't trying to pick individual winners or outsmart Wall Street. You are buying a tiny slice of the entire economy and riding the wave of its historical 10% average annual return. But remember, the single highest return investment you can make isn't in the stock market. It is in yourself. Learning a high-value skill like video production, digital marketing, or software development can transform your earning potential almost overnight. A $1,000 course that helps you land a role paying $15,000 more per year is a 15 times return in the first year alone. No index fund on the planet can promise that. From there, you can explore real estate investment trusts to own property portfolios without dealing with tenants, or eventually move into individual stocks of companies with real revenue. For those with a strong foundation, scalable online businesses offer enormous upside because the income isn't capped by your hours. Only then should you look at alternative assets like cryptocurrency. If you can't clearly explain why something has value, you aren't investing, you are gambling. Execution is what separates the dreamers from the wealthy, and it does not require a high IQ. It requires the removal of friction. You must set up automatic transfers for the very day your income arrives, because if you rely on memory or wait for motivation, you will eventually fail. The money should move from your checking account to your investment accounts without you ever having to lift a finger. Furthermore, simply transferring the money is not enough. Cash sitting idle in a brokerage account does nothing for your future. Set your asset purchases to trigger automatically as well, so that the moment your income arrives, the money moves and assets are bought without you making a single manual decision that month. Once this system is running, you shift your focus to the real accelerator, earning more. While saving an extra 3% won't change your life, increasing your income by 30 or 50% while keeping this same system in place will be absolutely transformational. Negotiate raises, build a side income, and invest in skills that command higher pay to feed the machine. Now, let's talk about the 10% stability fund, because this is the piece most people skip and the primary reason they end up in debt. A single, unexpected car repair or a medical bill can wipe out 6 months of financial progress if you have zero margin for error. This fund is not an investment designed for aggressive growth. It is a financial shock absorber. When the market drops 30% and you face an emergency, you won't be forced to sell your investments at a loss because you will pull from this fund instead. To size it correctly, Add up your true non-negotiables, rent, groceries, and insurance, and multiply by 5 or 6 months. Keep this cash in a high-yield savings account where it is safe from risk, but remains instantly accessible. Build it slowly if you must, but remember the critical rule. The moment you use any of it, you must prioritize refilling it before anything else. Treat it like a debt to yourself that must be repaid first. Finally, we address the 60% allocated to essentials, which is where most people quietly destroy their financial future through lifestyle inflation. They get a promotion and immediately sign a lease on a nicer apartment or finance a new car because they feel they have earned it. But looking wealthy and actually being wealthy are two completely different things. Someone leasing a luxury sedan with only $300 in savings isn't winning. They are performing, and that performance has a massive opportunity cost. The 60% rule forces you to define what is truly essential. The two biggest traps are housing and transportation. People stretch for the maximum mortgage a bank will allow, or finance vehicles they can't afford, locking themselves into payments for years. A $400 monthly car payment over 10 years is $48,000 in cash. But if that same money were invested at an 8% return, it would be roughly $73,000. By choosing a reliable used vehicle instead, you aren't just choosing a car, you are choosing financial independence.